Hi, everyone. Welcome to the March 2022 leadership meeting for millennials in travel. I'm Monica, Director of Operations. We'll just jump right in. We've got a busy agenda and some good, exciting stuff to share. First, I wanted to let you know that our new Millennials in Travel video is now available, and I just pasted that link in the chat. It's live on our YouTube channel, and it's also on our homepage of our website. So you can go onto millennialsintravel.com at any time and watch that. I would show it now, but I know streaming video content doesn't always come across smoothly, so best to watch it on your own time and let us know what you think. I'm sure that our communications team will be using that video in the coming days and weeks to promote Millennials in Travel as well. So I think it turned out really well. So thank you to all involved in that project. Pretty excited for that little kind of sizzle reel of MIT. Just wanted to highlight a couple of events that we have coming up, some general operation matters, and then we'll switch over after I touch on a few things. I am really excited actually to hand controls over to Kate to share with us our membership survey results. But first, let me go over some of the more mundane housekeeping things and also some upcoming announcements and events. So in case you didn't see it, we have our Los Angeles meetup event planned for Friday, March 11th. That's this Friday, March 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. This is timed to be in conjunction with the Travel and Adventure Show that's happening at the Los Angeles Convention Center in downtown LA. So the event is actually at the Ace Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. If you haven't RSVP'd yet and you plan to attend, please do so. You can find the link to register on the calendar on the Millennials in Travel website. Just go to the calendar, pull up the event for March 11th, click the button that says RSVP. And remember, as a leader of Millennials in Travel, your attendance is complimentary. Just use the promo code 8675309 to have the ticket price reduced to $0. On that same note, we have another event planned for New York. The New York chapter event is happening on March 18th. Also in conjunction with the Travel and Adventure Show, which is at the Javits Center in Midtown. So the event is at the Arlo Hotel, which I believe is just across the street from the Convention Center in Midtown. So that's March 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. in New York. And then lastly for March, the Charleston chapter is having a philanthropy event on March 31st at a food bank where they'll be preparing boxes to be delivered to senior citizens. So 3 events happening this month and a couple more coming down the pipeline for April, including an event with our Vancouver chapter as the restrictions in Canada are finally being eased. So they're ready to finally have that launch event. And then also an event in the works for Chicago as well. Just a reminder that we have the Memo of Understanding document. I put the link in the agenda. I'm missing a signed version, and maybe they've been collected and somehow didn't get passed on or put in the right file, but I'm missing them from Derek, Anina, Kim, and Justin. And Justin, yours is actually probably in my email inbox because I know I haven't finished your onboarding process, so my apologies, you've probably already sent it. But if you haven't had a chance to sign that Memo of Understanding, or if you have any questions about what's in that document, any of the expectations, please let us know. But if you haven't signed and returned that, if you could do that as soon as possible, you can just send it to me. That would be much appreciated. And then just a couple general reminders. When you're using any of the platforms that we've established, whether it's Zoho, Asana, any of the technology kind of apps or platforms that we've set up, please don't change any of the login settings. Don't enable two-factor authentication because it locks other people out. I don't think it's actually happened with anyone on our manager team. I think maybe one of our officers accidentally did that, but just a general reminder. Don't change any settings. When in doubt, just say no and let us know if you have any questions. I already mentioned this, but when you are registering for any of our events, use the promo code 8675309. It helps to sing it and it'll help you remember. For us old millennials, it's 8675309. That's how you remember it. And you're welcome for that concert.
Wait, can I just ask, Derek, have you ever heard that song?
Derek?
Do you know that reference, 8675309? You're muted, or something's going on with your mic.
We probably don't need to know. It's okay.
Anyways.
Code whenever whenever you're RSVPing, and it will adjust your ticket cost to 0. And please don't share that code. I mean, it's obviously just to be used for our leaders. So
well, we can actually see who it's attributed to. So if it's used, then somebody's gotten it, and then that person will get in trouble, and we'll ban them from the organization, and then we'll have to change it to another fun 80s song.
Okay. Also, please use Asana. I was really happy to hear actually Natalie talking about this with her team right before I came on, putting everything in Asana. Anything that we do, any projects that we're working on, any conversations you're having, anything, we really are using it for a number of reasons. One, to really cut down on back and forth emails, to assign tasks, to be able to stay organized, to keep everyone on the same page. And there's always a chance that you may leave your position. And so the more content and information we have in there, so we can pick up, where you leave off on something, or if you're on vacation or taking an extended leave, we need to be able to access things. So please try to use Asana. I know sometimes it's overwhelming learning a new platform or a new app, but if I can do it, anyone can. And the more you get in there and play around with it, you'll see it's very user friendly. And we just would prefer to have everything we can. Any events you're working on, any collaborations, initiatives, whatever you're doing, please try to use Asana, because we have set it up so that each of our managers have access to that. And then lastly, last housekeeping reminder, if you are going to be out of the office, we of course encourage people to travel and take vacations and take the earned and deserved time off that you need. But just as you would with your job, please do have the professional courtesy to set an out of office notification, to let someone know if you're going to be gone and away from email for an extended period of time. Just remember that there is a lot of things going on within millennials in travel, a lot of people involved. And if you kind of just step away and drop the ball on something, we want to make sure someone's there to pick up and to keep things moving forward. So just general rule of thumb, keep that professional courtesy in mind. Set an out of office notification, let us know, when you're going to be gone. And of course, everybody should take time off and should travel. But we just want to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. As we continue to grow and expand and bring on new initiatives, we just want to make sure we keep everything in check.
Sorry, man. Also, it's pretty easy to put your out of office by logging in through the portal. Your phone may not do it, your Outlook may not do it, but the web-based platform, it's under personal settings, and it's pretty easy. If you don't know how to do it, just send me an email. They can show you, but it's pretty easy.
And I probably should have done this at the beginning of our call, but Justin, I think, is this your first meeting with us, monthly meeting? Second, you were on the last one. Okay, I apologize. Trying to keep everyone straight. Okay, so everybody knows each other. Good, thank you. All right, let me just jump over quickly to a couple quick updates for our chapters. We have new officers on our San Diego team. Actually, 3 new officers joined the team. So Janelle had been on the team for quite some time. She moved from the Officer of Events role to Officer of Development. She's incredible, and we have incredible dynamite team that's just joined her. So new officers in San Diego, and then also 2 new officers on our Los Angeles team. So just I'll share those updates and introductions soon. I've kind of put in place a new policy where I do an onboarding of about 30 days just to make sure that they're fully on board and engaged and committed before announcing them on our social media and to the rest of the organization, but I'll send those updates soon. And then also, we do have leadership positions open in New York. Nicole, who is our Officer of Communications in New York, she's served on the organization for 4 years. She's actually stepping down because she's entering into a new business, and her plate is pretty full. So if you know anyone in New York, we have the Officer of Communications role newly opened, as well as the Officer of Communications role in Charleston as well. Although they did email today, they may have found someone, but that's just something to keep in mind. And then lastly, Elizabeth and I have been working on this for quite some time, but hopefully I think we're actually I think the end is in sight. I think we might have found a team of 4 people to launch our Phoenix chapter. So hopefully, now that I'm getting the existing chapters to kind of self-maintain themselves and not having to help them out as much, we can again try to shift focus on new chapter development, with the first one being Phoenix. Hopefully Florida, Texas will soon follow, and then a number of other cities in the pipe. in the pipeline. And then the last thing from me before I pass it over to Kate, and as I said, Anina can't join us tonight, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a FAM update. We had the SLS Cancun FAM planned for April, but unfortunately we only received a couple of applicants. Not sure if, Mexico just isn't of interest right now. Not sure if it was a hard act to follow with the business class flights, Paris, London, Shangri-La fam, to then have a Mexico fam right after that. Maybe people are thinking they're going to hold out for the next amazing fam opportunity. We're not exactly sure, but just the SLS Cancun fam that was scheduled for April will be postponed to a later date. At the same note, we had something in the works with Golden Rock. However, it's a remote destination. It's very challenging to get to, and due to the limited flight availability for the time frame, we're going to postpone that one as well. Likely, I think, to fall of 2022, if we're able to find dates that it's available and that there's flights. Anina's also working with Belmond on a South America fam. I believe it's Peru, a combination of Peru and Brazil, maybe 10 days or 12 days. Really nice itinerary, and I think it's just pending some final details and working out some of the flight specifics. And then lastly, we do have Maxwell Residences interested in doing something for May, but that's Puerto Vallarta, and again, we're kind of hesitating on moving forward with something for Mexico right now. Maybe just wait until later in the year. If anyone has any feedback or thoughts on that, let me know. But otherwise, that is it from me. Any questions? No.
Monica, can you share with us what months are still available for this year that you're wanting to fill, and then maybe a list of desired locations, and I can try to help push vendors that way?
I can request Anina to share that with everyone. Yes. Let me make a note here, and I'll be sure to follow up with her and have her do that. Great idea. I think last month we said what the available months were. Josh, I don't know if you remember what they happened to be. I think it was
right, but I think that's changed since you're pulling Mexico,
yeah.
Right? Twice you're pulling Mexico. So I know that American Airlines is interested in partnering, but it is, kind of up to us to say, these are the destinations that we're going. Can you help us?
Okay.
But I did reach out to them, and, there is some interest, but that's certainly something we can look at, obviously with the months as well. And then, if it's, domestic versus international, or you're wanting to push more international, kind of give a broad range of what you're thinking might work.
Okay.
I think closer in international, maybe. I mean, obviously not Mexico, but maybe central. I mean, Asia's opening up as well, so I guess that's probably another option. Because it's been closed for so long, I bet there's probably a lot of built up
pent-up demand. Yeah.
I would say that as well for Canada then, since that's close in international, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great to see a Canadian fam.
Okay.
Maybe a Fairmont circuit or something, 3 cities or something. Maybe we could do a combination of Vancouver and Banff or something. Do the Rocky Mountaineer in between. We'll touch base with Anina on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. Okay, Kate, are you ready to present your membership survey results?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to, and I'll control. You can just tell me when to advance.
Sounds good.
Give me a second here. Okay. Oh, it looks like some of the words are a little stretched, but it's fine.
Oh, really? Okay. Sorry, guys.
Do you see it?
Yep.
Cool.
I can see it. Hopefully everyone else can. Okay, yeah. So everyone, this is kind of our very long-standing project about getting our members' feedback just for, how things have been going, getting their input, and of course, moving on towards the future. We want to give the members what they want, and this is kind of a kickstart to that. So this will hopefully be really forming and shaping a lot of what we do in the future to make sure that, you know, we're the go-to for millennials, future, you know, Gen Z and beyond. So we can move on, Mani. This is just kind of some basic statistics about who and what we are, some percentages, and there's a little bit more on the next slide also just about the sectors. This is kind of our standard overview. And then one of the questions was specifically asking like the hotel sector. We kind of broke it up just to see how many agents and travel advisors we have. If you want to go to the next one, Mani, we've got a fun little pie chart. So you can see we're pretty heavily travel advisors. And then we kind of grouped almost everything else together. Supplier or other, and then media is a pretty small sliver at about only 3%. So that's just kind of who we are.
So this content or this data was pulled from the same survey, or this is what we had before?
So this is what we had from before.
Okay.
This is just,
yeah.
this is millennials and travel as an organization.
Okay.
The next slide is who responded to this.
The respondents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this pie chart is the specific response from the survey. The other chart is just like a more general from, you know, overall.
Okay. So this represents the organization as a whole. These are the demographics for our database, not our members, but our database.
Exactly.
Great. And then this represents the respondents to the survey.
Yep. We can move
Great.
on.
I mean, that's good that we were getting good feedback from travel advisors because, you know, that helps us in the long term with partnerships and things. So, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So then this, and just so everyone knows, I'm not sharing all the answers to all the things because I know we're always like at a 1 hour time limit. So if you guys are interested, you can always reach out to me and ask more if you want to hear more answers or whatever, but we just wanted to give you some of the real highlights of things that we thought were interesting and important. So which membership benefit categories are most important to you? So out of everyone that responded, you can see here that professional development is the winner with a very close second of exclusive networking. So as Mani just mentioned in the intro, super exciting that we're getting lots of networking events back up and running after COVID. So I think that's really awesome. Other things are travel discounts, then associations and memberships, business services, all the kind of benefits and things we offered, and then travel related merchandise. So that's also benefits as well, but kind of more fun things, you know, the discounts that we've got on, you know, like suitcases and cool stuff like that. So, and then it was kind of a smattering for about the 10% that was other, which I can touch on a little bit later.
This is interesting. Kind of what I would have expected, but it's good definitely for Kim and for Amanda. I know Amanda's not on the call, but for Kim and Amanda to keep in mind that they're working on initiatives in professional development and our benefits.
Yeah, really important. Yeah, Kim, you've got lots of fun stuff on the horizon, I'm sure. So. And then this next question was, how important are the following millennials and travel benefits? So these are all the things that we do already offer, and asked people if they knew that we offered all of these things. So again, the networking events came in as number one. So I think really great news with all these new announcements of new things. I think everyone's really been missing that. So I think it's just awesome that we're having all these cool stuff, you know, different meetings and activities on the horizon. Again, professional development, very important to a lot of our members as our exclusive benefits. So very similar. Everyone does also really love the newsletters and communication. So obviously Caitlin and her team has been like doing a great job with that. And everyone does really like the updates. That kind of goes a little, we kind of separated it out with the blog content, but you know, that comes in right afterwards. And then I thought it was a little surprising. I don't know if anyone else has any insight, but the job board and career opportunities was not as important. I guess I'm biased because I got my first travel job through a millennials in travel job posting. So that's just me. And then philanthropic activities came in last. So that's something else that, I think us as, managerial and director, team would like to change because it is important, but this is just the feedback that we've gotten so far from the members.
And remind me, when people answered this question, they could rate these things on a scale of 1 to 5. And that's where these averages came from, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, and I'm bummed that Amanda's not on the call, but hopefully you can have a follow-up with her and she'll hear this recording. But like you said, with the job board and career opportunities dropping so low, it could be skewed because the majority of the respondents could be currently employed. So that's something that's not of interest to them right now, but it might be important to them if they weren't. But I think it's a good reminder that she should, her position encompasses both professional development and the job board, and maybe her focus should be more on professional development programs, which she can work on in partnership with Kim to offer, career development opportunities as exclusive benefits. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. Totally. And then these were things that, we asked specifically looking towards the future, what initiatives are most of interest to you? So an annual conference, which I think surprised all of us, and maybe we have our work cut out for us in even offering that. But obviously people want in-person networking things and are really excited about that. So things to think about for the future. Sustainability came in next. So obviously everyone kind of, just in our industry and just the world in general, just, being more sustainable, thinking green, all of those kinds of initiatives are more and more important, I think, to all of us and our clients as well. Very close third came in travel industry legislation and advocacy. And Elizabeth, I know you had wanted us to put this question on the survey. So I think it's really interesting that a lot of people are finding that very important as well and wanting to get involved. And I think a lot of that, might also have to do with sustainability initiatives and how, we can also be, a change agent, not just in our industry in the world, also working with the communities that we send people to and all of that. So there's a lot there that I think people feel really passionately about. Then the mentorship program came in next. So I think both being a mentor, being a mentee, I know a lot of us came into the industry and maybe didn't have the kind of support that now us as MIT are hoping to offer to future generations. So I think that's really awesome that people are wanting to get involved and see the benefits of that. Increase social media engagement. So I think just everyone loves being on their phone and seeing like what's happening right now on the FAM in London and Paris and all the cool stuff. So I think what we do on social media is really great. And I think people just want to see more of it. And then again, philanthropy came in last, but that's where we're at right now. So we shall see.
Were there other responses and these are the top ones, or were these all of them? I can't remember.
These were the major ones. Let me see.
I don't think there was another.
I just wasn't sure if you were showing us kind of
no,
3 or higher, like 3 or higher, like what we should actually focus on.
I'm trying to think if we had other for this one, but yeah, these were the only options.
Well, I think it's very insightful again, and Caroline, obviously you can see from this slide and the last one, sustainability is important, maybe philanthropy not so much. So as we're kind of growing that program within millennials in travel, I know you're working on some really great things actually for sustainability, and that's your passion as well. So that's interesting, and I like seeing the travel industry legislation and advocacy, and the more we can do with other groups and associations and organizations will make us stronger as well.
There was another actually, but it was mostly like FAMs. Like we want to see FAMs.
I'm gonna address that.
We know everyone likes FAMs. We don't need to ask that question.
That goes without saying.
Yeah. Okay. And then this one regarding communications.
Yeah. So how do you prefer to engage or receive MIT communication? So email, obviously far and away number one. We did separate out the monthly newsletter, even though that is technically an email as well. But people are really liking all of that. So Caitlin, obviously crushing it. Instagram next, then LinkedIn, other, and absolutely no one cares about Twitter. So that was 0. So we don't need to do Twitter. But yeah, I think that's just not that surprising, in terms of what the preferences are.
No, big differences from one to the next though, but that's
Yeah.
good. So we don't have to worry about our Twitter account.
No.
Very cool. Okay, and this one.
Oh yeah, and this one was just kind of fun. Are we communicating with you just the right amount, not enough, or too much? So you can see almost 80% of the respondents thought we were doing just the right amount, and no one said too much. So they love hearing from us and think we're not being annoying about it. So like the pacing and awesome is great. So we just thought that was like a nice response, just, letting, again, everyone know, and especially Caitlin and your team, like what you guys are doing is great and people are happy with it.
This is really good to see because with the pandemic, we were able to, upgrade our systems and automate things and come up with a more consistent schedule for communication. So we were kind of questioning we're communicating way more than we did a couple years ago. So is it too much? And it's good to see that it's not. And I think, as we always say, consistency, keeping consistent rather than, communicating and then nothing at all, like consistency is better. So nice job, Caitlin.
Yay. And then, this was just kind of the last little tidbits I wanted to include that wasn't represented in any of the graphs. As we briefly mentioned, a lot of people, when they were able to write in other for anything else, mentioned fans. So I know Anina's not here, but obviously that is probably one of all the members' favorite things. So yeah, I know she's always doing a great job with that. And then quite a few people thought it was important to work on recruiting and mentoring people as early as high school or college to bring new talent into the industry and offer platform and community throughout their career. So I know the mentorship program was something that was represented in one of those graphs as something important. I think it kind of fell in the middle of the pack, but just the fact that people thought, before people are even thinking about a career, when they're in high school and college, still just trying to figure things out, is when we should really be setting our sights on, presenting the travel industry as a great career option. So that was just an interesting insight. And then lots of people are wanting more chapters. So Mani, I know you're always
chapter in every city.
Yeah, a chapter in every city. So we had a lot of people a chapter in the city, a chapter in the city. So people are excited to have local chapters and want to see more of us.
Yeah, hopefully we can shift more of our focus to that as things become, again, more automated, more kind of self-sustaining. And cool to see this about, recruiting the next generation, and no pressure, Derek, that's all on you. So excited to see good things come from that. And that, of course, will, like you said, tie into that mentor-mentee program, which is great. Okay, that was it. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add or any questions?
I would say please do not pull the plug on Twitter just yet.
Okay.
It is the only platform that legislators use.
That's a good call. Yeah.
And so it certainly is still a platform that we want to maintain. It doesn't need to maybe have its own, calendar. We could probably, reuse content from other social to just keep it up to date at this point until we do get into more of a legislative, role within the organization.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if it was brought up on the last call, but because philanthropy may not be the main focus, could we do philanthropy networking events, combine the two where people do meet up in person? Kind of checks two boxes at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. And our chapters really love to do those. And I'm always encouraging them to combine a networking and a philanthropy event together. So Charleston has one planned for March 31st where they'll do, they'll be together, they'll be networking, and then they're going to do the food bank thing. So yeah, definitely. Or a philanthropy and social event. I know, I'm trying to remember if it was LA or San Diego. They did something in the past where they did a philanthropy and then they went out and had, drinks together after. So anything else? Anyone? Questions? No? Josh, you don't have anything to add? No?
Nope.
All right. Well, then I will go ahead and pass it over to Kim for an update on exclusive benefits. And I think hopefully some of those survey results were insightful for you, Kim, on kind of where we should focus. We did have it, Kate, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the survey, we had it split with like the 5 different kind of profession or benefit categories that we had outlined, right?
Yeah.
And then people selected which ones were most important. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was taking notes while Kate was presenting there, so that's good to know. Yeah, I guess newest thing is Habitats by Cat. I talked to her this week, and she's offered some cool benefits, especially seeing how many of our members are travel advisors. I think, well, she does work with more than just advisors, but I think that's maybe the bulk of what she does. So I think that's a cool new addition. I did add that stuff in Asana, but if anybody needs clarification on that, please let me know.
What is it? What is Habitats by Cat?
Okay, so basically, she says that a host agency is not her. She doesn't see a host agency as her competition, because she can kind of she's marketing to a different demographic, like basically a younger demographic of people who are maybe even not in the industry already. Maybe they're just having a large social media following, and she thinks there's potential for them to create a revenue stream by booking travel. So it's a cool, and then but she can also supplement. Like we talked, because I'm with a host, and we talked about things that she could do for hosted agents as well, and it could kind of work in conjunction with a host agency. So so it seems like she does a lot, but that's kind of the gist of it. And so she works with hoteliers as well. So she offered discounts on a couple different packages. So their website is pretty cool if anybody's interested to check that out. And then besides that, I'm working with Andrew at the Bridge. I know that March was the month we were going to reconnect on the discount there. And then Monica, you've connected me with a number of people that I have reached out to, Travel Institute, Coastline, and I'm just kind of circling back on those now. It's been a few weeks and ball's been in their court. And so I'm sending those emails again to try and get those conversations started.
Okay. If you run into any roadblocks or lack of reply on the Travel Institute, Jason Barron, who's with the New York chapter, I think, Josh, I can't remember what his dad's title is at the Travel Institute, but he's our connection.
Okay, yeah, and he did connect me with Patty there, and I'm just waiting for a response to try and get something set up there. But yeah, so I mean, I've got some emails sent out to try and get some calls scheduled. As always, I will gladly take any connections and suggestions people have for benefits. But that survey, that's good info to know. And I've got sort of my brainstorming list of the 5 categories for benefits. So if anybody has suggestions or connections, please send them my way.
Yeah, professional services, I think, and professional development are top. Cool. Okay. Amanda isn't here. Kate, I don't know if you have an update from her or nothing to share at this time.
No, I sadly don't. I didn't realize she wasn't going to be coming until about an hour ago. So she and I are meeting this week. So
okay.
Jason, also in New York, also had a great recommendation. I think what we all have signatures, again, from MIT accounts. That's why it's important that we really maintain communication through the Millennials and Travel email addresses, but embedding some type of reference in our email signature. So for instance, maybe 1 month we do, hey, are you looking to hire? Click here to submit a job posting. So we'll create a form. So
like a monthly. I can do that. I can create like a monthly signature, like a theme each month. That's
right. If we do a banner, and then that'll allow us to kind of like not only promote the activities and the programs that we're offering, but also like drive traffic and actually get more, job postings or benefits or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I have like a different monthly signature for work, each month. So I don't know why we don't do the same. So maybe I'll connect with you, Josh, on some ideas. We can kind of lay out the next few months and then how that would look digitally. And if we need graphics or what we're going to do on that, or if it's just text, I'll connect with you on it. Thanks for that. Okay, let's see, next up, oh, Josh, you and your team are next.
Okay, so I guess Elizabeth, do you, as far as me, updates, we are, I'll share with Gen Z, but Elizabeth, do you want to go first?
Sure. I reached out to Ellie Miami. Unfortunately, our schedules weren't able to connect last week, so we're trying for this week. So I'll keep everybody updated on that. And then I have reached out to the big three, Virtuoso, Signature, and Internova, pushing to see if we can get some sort of panel, some sort of interaction with their upcoming live events. Just as an update, Internova, they've pushed a lot of their live events to later in the year. And that's the same for a host of them, except for Virtuoso that's going full steam ahead. So, you know, hopefully we can pick some things up with those big three, and I'll keep everybody updated on how that goes. And then, yeah, just working through some of the lists that we talked about last month. No new updates further than that.
Caitlin, did Virtuoso bring back their millennial-minded focus group or whatever that was called?
Yeah, we did one call,
Okay.
but I don't think that that's really, I don't think there's
Bravo,
more.
Virtuoso.
I think they were
Bravo.
just, yeah. I think,
Well, they
I think
they're,
they were just,
they're they're in a hiring frenzy right now, an absolute frenzy, and so
Yeah.
there's a lot.
It's probably not a priority,
Right.
which is good. I mean, I think, and Elizabeth, I'm sure that you're doing this, but it's such a great opportunity for us to present and say, look, like Millennials in Travel is stronger than ever after the pandemic. These are all the initiatives we're working on. Like, you need us, you know, not so much that we need them. Like, we could do these programs and do things, you know, with them and in partnership with them, and it would take some of the weight off their shoulders. So
That's it. Thanks.
cool. Great. And then Josh, sorry, skipping around here. So Caroline and Derek, Caroline, want to go next?
Yeah, so after I think the last call, we kind of chatted about some of the survey results. And so now seeing it like, you know, final come through, it's really interesting to see. So since sustainability is such a, you know, important topic and something that our members are really interested in, I really want this year to like kind of focus on, you know, raising awareness for sustainability, gathering resources, things like that. And so talking with Josh, I'm trying to, you know, gather as much content as I can, because we're hopefully going to launch our sustainability like webpage in April. And kind of to go along with that, I want to, you know, do like, I don't know, the title's a work in progress, but like sustainable shout outs for like, you know, people in the industry who are sustainable, and kind of ask them, you know, questions like, what does sustainability mean to you? So to kind of have those things go together. So I'm still working on those. And then I'm also trying to contact some, you know, sustainable organizations like the Regenerative Travel Company, Conscious Travel Foundation, the Transformational Travel Council, and like this other company, Sustainable Wanderlust. So just trying to like, you know, show that we're really focused on this, and this is really important to us, and hopefully we can work together with some of these organizations. So yeah, that's basically what I'm still working on.
Okay, great. And did you say that we think the sustainable landing page on our website might launch in April? Is that what I got?
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Okay.
Along with a press release. So Caroline, Natalie will get with you for you guys to connect on what does that look like. You know, let's not overcommit and under deliver. So, you know, if we even just pick one, you know, one or two initiatives that we feel that we can, you know, commit to for the next year, and then really try to front load as much content as possible so we're not scrambling. So if, you know, let's use each other for that, and the network that we have, and also, you know, I think utilizing, maybe connecting with Caitlin on, you know, maybe a poll on Facebook, or like an ideas board or something where it's like, hey, like, you know, even starting to post of like, hey, who are there any like great sustainable, companies or whatever out there? So let's let other people create content, or at least like the majority of it, and then we can just put it together or make it look pretty.
Right.
Okay, and then so moving on to Gen Z. So we are going to be announcing Gen Z in travel this week, not as its own entity, but as a exploration. So we just need to kind of like tweak some of the rhetoric that we're putting out to be less formalized, because we are not spinning wheels, but like we're running a solid organization at this point. All of us will implode if for some reason now there's like more things that we need to do. So I'll just let Derek kind of like talk about what the plan is, themes, and then like the schedule, like what we're like actually announcing kind of tomorrow or Wednesday. Might be Wednesday.
Yep. So either tomorrow or Wednesday, we are gonna have a either a press release or having a one-pager added to the website for Gen Z that lays out the mission, lays out the purpose, lays out the why, and for that information, it'll be in a one-pager that you can utilize to send out to people who may have any questions about why we have Gen Z in travel. The purpose of which is to kind of aid in the recovery of the travel industry and to provide those who are looking to start their career in the travel industry to make it a lot easier, to give them that support system. Mirroring what we saw on the survey earlier, Gen Z is very adamant about having a community to join, having a network to join when they get into this new job, because it is such a daunting jump from college. So we want to make it as easy as possible. And we met, Natalie, Josh and I met before this call to go over the press release, and it looks great. Natalie did a great job, and hopefully we get some amazing pickup as from the industry as a whole. So very exciting times for Gen Z in travel.
Yeah, so pickup as in the third Wednesday of every month. We're going to be having a focus group for the next 4 months, different themes. It's all on the website, genzintravel.com. So what we really need to do collectively as us, as a team, is share with our colleagues, our industry colleagues, friends, coworkers, if they do know people within the Gen Z generation, and we got to tweak how we're presenting that, because you can't say Gen Z generation, that we want them to participate. So it's a focus group, and that it's having those conversations of, just getting a sense and a pulse on where they are, what their needs are, and they, as in like Derek right now, as travel industry professionals. And so that's what I think is going to be the pickup, is that we're the first ones to really identify that, we got to start early. And I don't want it to be, us saying, okay, well, we didn't have that support, but kind of, we did not have that support. And that's why this organization formed. And now we have that opportunity to extend the wealth of knowledge that we've learned over the last 9 years for the next generation. Speaking of, next year we are celebrating 10 years, which is mind blowing. And so I think hopefully if we can get all of our ducks in a row and get 3 to 4 more hours in a day, so maybe we do like a 28-hour day, we can do like a conference or something for our 10-year anniversary, which would be amazing. So what everybody wants, I think that's what we want. So that, again, strategic development, but at the same point, we also can't burn ourselves at the wick at both ends. So be on the lookout for that. Always reference genzintravel.com. It does redirect to millennialsintravel.com/Gen Z. But we'll be doing like social pushes, and we want people to participate. So even if they're in college, or if you've like younger brothers or sisters, I don't know, we just want like information. We're not proposing something formal as far as like sign up here or do this. We do encourage them to sign up for our list, just so we know who they are. There is a separate registration on the website. So if you check out the website, that allows them to download the links to access these focus groups that are happening the third Wednesday of the next 4 months.
Yeah, just adding on to that, we're trying to reduce as much friction as we can from the kind of getting people interested process. If people have to fill out a full form and put down a social security number for them to actually participate, maybe they won't. So if we have it just be very easy, one click to gets added to your calendar on the website, that's our objective at the moment. And then once we get people involved, then we can ask for more information down the road.
Very exciting. Thank you. Does anyone have questions?
Yeah, Josh, is it possible that we can leak this, quotations, leak this to Virtuoso? Like, can I send this to them tomorrow and say, like, hey, you're seeing this first?
Let's sidebar, let's chat after about that. I need to understand the why. So we'll chat after directly.
All right. No other questions, and I'll pass it over to Caitlin for a full communications update on digital content, social media, and media relations.
Hi, everybody. So as Monica and Josh and Kate and everybody shared earlier, that we have that new MIT video. So I'm definitely going to have plans to put that out in our social in the near future. When it comes to digital content for the newsletter, which the newsletter for March is going out tomorrow, with the next one being April 12th. But just to help me also get kind of organized and, I'm finding myself that I'm just kind of guessing, based on the emails and communications and things that I'm seeing come through for the newsletter, that we decided to give it a try to create a board in Asana, which is just going to be called newsletter suggestions. So I'll share my screen quickly just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about.
Caitlin, sorry to interrupt you, but I'll just paste the link to it in the chat, but also everyone is already added to that team, so they'll be able to access it too.
Yeah, so I also went in just before this call to ensure everyone's been added to this particular board. So pay no attention to my, thing over here, because there's a lot, but there's digital content team right here. And underneath you'll see the newsletter template, which I use, the newsletters by month, but it's literally called newsletter suggestions, which you'll see up here. And it's just kind of a catch-all. So as you can see here, Monica kind of listed these different events that are coming up, like the open positions for leadership, which I was able to include in this newsletter. But this is just going to be a great way for me to kind of stay organized and kind of stay up to date with what you and your teams and your projects are and what you need to go out into the newsletter. We did think about doing this per newsletter, but we thought better to just try it as one big catch-all, because some might make it in a certain newsletter and some might not. So let's give this a try. So definitely, don't be shy. Don't hesitate to, jump in here and start writing out some things that you'd like to see included in the newsletter.
And if there's any deadlines, dates, applicable web links, right? You want those included too.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also choose me as the assignee, because otherwise I'm not gonna get notified really that you added this. So if you add something, add me as the assignee. Don't worry about the due date. I can figure that out. Unless you have something super urgent and you need it included, then feel free to put something in. But as you can see here, Monica included a description and the information that I need all is right here. So it just helps me stay organized. It helps, with the time saver, and I'm not missing anything important from you and your teams and your projects that need to be included in the newsletter.
And cuts down on email.
Yeah, it cuts down on emails, and it's just all right in one spot. So kind of as we said at the beginning of the call, let's try to keep everything in Asana. That way we're all kind of in the same page and not missing anything.
Right.
So yeah, newsletter suggestions is what it's called. Okay, and then for blog content, we had a couple of reserves kind of in drafts, but I'm running out. I'm running out of blog content. So I need some help. I maybe we can ask someone from the most recent fam in Arizona to write something up. Kate's lovely blog is going in tomorrow's newsletter from when she hosted a fam. But not just FAMs, you know, we did a blog about, you know, do you need, like, do you think you need travel insurance was the topic. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm needing some blog content. So if you guys have any.
Can we also, like, for these larger initiatives that we're doing, like Gen Z or the membership survey, I mean, we can kind of like tailor it and put that in and make that a blog post as well.
Yeah.
Or is that like not interesting and like nobody wants to read it? Like,
but well, what do you mean? Like, how does that differ from a press release when you're talking about Gen Z?
Well, I mean, I think the I guess maybe not Gen Z, but like, let's say our membership survey, like that could be a blog post, like, hey, like we did a snapshot of like, you know, with our membership, here are the results, like, you know, click here for more details, whatever. Then we do one like, hey, we're launching. If we make it more casual, because like the press release is going to be pretty formal, but if we make the blog post the casual component of whatever said press release we're doing that month, of like, hey, we're announcing, you know, sustainability or whatever, that might help like add to the content list that we need.
That'd be good.
So between one fam a month, basically, and our I mean, I guess we need to redefine like what is the purpose of our blog? Is it to and I think everybody can like chime in and like share, like, do we want it to be like super, you know, casual and exciting and like really like fluff and like lowbrow stuff, or do we want it to be a mix of also like what things that we're working on for projects and programs and like helping? I don't know what the answer is, but I think we maybe can explore, and maybe that's something we do on like a poll or something of like, you know, what do you got membership on Facebook? Like, what do you guys want to see in our, like, what would make you read our blog? Not ask them that, but like, you know, I don't know. Let's figure out what.
Yeah, I mean, I personally like read like other blogs to learn something, you know, whether like even about the travel insurance. I'm sure people were like wondering why, you know, if they need to have travel insurance and if it's really important with everything going on with COVID. Like, I thought that was really helpful. I also love blogs that have, you know, top 5 reasons to go to Africa or something where it's like numbers, you know, or like here's the, you know, one of the blogs we just posted was like, here are the top 7 things I learned when I went to Jamaica. You know, I think like learning about a destination, highlighting, you know, you know, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to learn.
Let's not, you know, we have 3,000 people that, you know, probably not all of them want to provide content, but there's got to be a handful of people that want to like get their content out. Let's go back out and push the membership, saying like, you know, if you have a fun, like make that a focus in some social posts of like, you know, do you like ask them to provide the content?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll get hits. People want to get their name on a website.
I did also do a post about social media and digital content manager on social and did not get any feedback. So we still have those positions available. If you guys know of anybody, I know that social media manager position is probably one of the more time consuming positions within our team. But yeah, still looking for that digital content and social media. And do we have someone doing a takeover for the Paris London fam? I'm seeing people kind of tag us and stuff, but I wasn't sure if we have.
It should be Janelle because she's the host.
Okay. I don't think I saw her in the sign up sheet, but I can double check.
Okay. And she's done them before, so she knows what to do. Maybe just send her just a quick message to make sure she's going to do it formally.
Yeah, because I don't want to have overlapping things because
of course.
I'll go back and look in there, but I just want to make sure we don't have somebody posting while she's there. Okay, and then for social media, just like a quick little highlight or high level which was interesting given what Kate just presented on, but our engagement and reach and Instagram and LinkedIn actually are up, which is great because I saw LinkedIn was down or like not important in Kate's presentation. But what's down quite a bit actually is our Facebook. That seems to be down almost 50% over the last 30 days, just looking at the last 30 days. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like when we post there, we really only get like 1 or 2 likes compared to Instagram and LinkedIn, which is getting more traction. So just something to food for thought.
All right.
And that's it for me.
Okay, then we'll have to maybe later in the week after we figure out like when exactly we're announcing Gen Z and press release and all that stuff. We'll have to like obviously hit socials and stuff. There's less urgency in that,
Yeah.
so it's not like, yeah, but we'll connect.
Cool. And then I'll pass it to Natalie. I think she's on.
Yeah, sorry, I had to reconnect. My Wi-Fi keeps going in and out today, so apologies. Just a few quick updates for me. I know Josh already touched on the Gen Z and travel announcement, so we'll be going over the release after this call, just some final revisions, but excited to get that news out there this week. And then in addition, I will be putting a PR calendar into Asana over the next week or so, which just kind of outlines different initiatives that we want to touch on throughout the year, and have different managers kind of responsible for that initiative. And Caitlin, feel free to jump in if you have more on that, but I will go in and make that available for everyone and then just kind of start slotting in people for those specific months. And then I'll be in touch with you one-on-one kind of to talk further in detail on, what it is we want to talk about for that specific initiative.
Yeah, so just to kind of piggyback off that is what we were thinking is, since Natalie's kind of working really hard to put together the press release and get it out about Gen Z and travel for Derek, we essentially kind of want to have similar initiatives for everybody. So whatever falls under your umbrella, we'd love to work together with you, Natalie and I, and kind of have similar, whatever that may look like for your sector. Kind of she's creating a PR calendar for the year. So we have kind of the whole year planned out with like media scheduling, depending on your umbrella that you fall under, and some initiatives that maybe we can come up with for you, or you come up with for Natalie to promote.
Great, thank you. And then last,
also, Justin, as far as technology update.
That's what I was just saying.
It's totally.
Justin.
There's just never been anybody in that role, and so it's like not even the scheme. Obviously, Justin's new, but anything like, excuse me, anything like tech or website related, please send to tech@. So that's Justin's email address. We did go through how to create a FAM. We created the FAM, it's on hold. But I think if there's questions, please send it to Justin, and then Justin and I can coordinate, and I can make sure that, that him and I are coordinating directly. So Kim, I'll forward you have a new benefit. I'll forward that to Justin or tag him, and then we can go through it with him. But we'll get him up and running. Justin, is there anything that you want to say?
I think it's all good. Nothing to say. Yeah, just still learning everything, so it's good.
Cool.
We're excited to have you, Justin. Don't worry. I know I've been jumping the gun and doing some of the website stuff myself, because we have grown so accustomed to having to do that, that having you on the team is going to be such a welcome relief. And so don't worry. I'm sure there'll be lots of things coming your way in the future. Especially with the expansion of these new web pages. And also on that same note, as you're getting to know the different platforms we're using, ways that we could improve even more. We've made leaps and bounds in the last 2 years with our technology, but I'm sure there's things that we could be doing better. So we'll welcome any advice and input that you have. All right, does anybody have anything else? Any questions, anything to add? No?
Yeah, just quickly, Caitlin, I think I had sent over 2 blog post content ideas or relatively thought out pieces that never got put in play. So I could certainly resend those if you're in a pinch and need to put something up. If it makes sense to use them, great.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could resend them over. I just, like, I don't know if it meant as well for me to write them because I unfortunately do not have the time to write blog posts, but if it's something that somebody's already put together, then that would be awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, if that's it, thank you all for attending. I'll go ahead and close the meeting out. I'll stay online if anyone has any follow-up questions, but thank you so much for your time tonight.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.